young people's lives, Congressman Paul has only advocated for more individual liberty and how to choose we lives. These are the ideas of peace, prosperity, and tolerance that our nation needs. These are the ideas that so many of us young people are attracted to, as demonstrated through my club's success. And finally, these are the ideas that have exploded in popularity over the past decade because of one man. Ladies and gentlemen, help me in welcoming him right now.
Yes, sir!
Congressman, Doctor, Presidential Candidate and Champion of Freedom, Ron Paul!
Thank you for this very nice welcome. I'm delighted to be here today. In the home of free speech. I can say anything I want tonight, right? As long as it's true and good news, right? Before I get started, I want to make sure you see my wife up here. My wife Carol is with me. Grandchildren with us, Linda, who's a college student. But it is wonderful to see such a nice crowd come out and come to hear a politician speak. Yeah. But I hope I'm different than the other politicians. Oh, you Because I want to tell you what's going on in this country and what we ought to do about it, because we have a few problems, and young people have a problem because you're inheriting a mess. And there's something that we can do about it, and it's not all that difficult. I am convinced that we've gotten into the mess in this country basically because we have sent too many people to Washington that either can't read or didn't understand the Constitution. And we want to make sure that we send nobody to Washington unless they know, unless they can read and understand it. But we also have to believe them when they put their hand up and take an oath to obey the Constitution. I'll tell you what, if we'd had that for the last 40 or 50 years, our government would be very much smaller. For instance, take the conditions of war. We haven't had a declared war since World War II. We were attacked, we declared war, fought Germans, fought the Japanese, and it was a major ordeal in about less than 4 years. How long have we been in Afghanistan? Way too long! We've been going to war without declaration. We were in Korea and Vietnam and dozens of other places. Today, you might have read the news. We just put some troops in Australia. I don't know what we're doing. We don't need to have more troops spread around the world. We're already in 150 countries. We have 900 bases. I think if we have a military, which we should have, we should defend this country. We shouldn't be the policemen of the world. Nation buildings. Other nations might not want to live like we do, and they have a right and a privilege and a moral authority to do what they want, even when they make mistakes, because we do not have the facilities, the moral authority, nor the constitutional authority to go around the world and tell other people what they must do and how to run their country. We have a job on ourselves enough just trying to straighten out our own government, let alone trying to straighten out the governments around the world. So, but people argued the case, and they've argued this for many years. It's been going on since Woodrow Wilson. That is, America is an exceptional nation. And we have been. We have been a great nation, the freest nation ever, and the most prosperous, which we no longer are. But they said that we have exceptional values, and they're so exceptional and so wonderful that we have this obligation to spread our message around the world by force. That makes no sense. If if we are an exceptional nation, and if we have those exceptional values, you cancel them all out when you decide on the principle of preemptive war. We have been following the position of preemptive war in the past 10 years. If we were more honest with ourselves, we'd call it aggression, and we don't believe in preemptive war, and we only fight defensive wars. These wars have been going on in the last 10 years. We have added $4 trillion to our national debt. And a lot of that is falling on your shoulders because this is a burden. We are in the midst of an economic crisis. It's a debt crisis. And guess what they've been doing for the last 5 years since they've recognized there's a crisis? They made the misdiagnosis. They didn't know it was a debt crisis. They thought they needed more spending, and they're running up the debt even faster, and they think that's going to solve the problem. It will not. We need to shrink the size of government. We need to give the money and the authorities and the power back to the people and let them spend their own money. But this has been going on now for more than 50 years, and it's been very, very tragic for us. If you think of all the money and all the lives lost and all the injuries and penalties since World War II, because no war has been declared since World War II, I mean, it could add up into trillions and trillions of dollars. Just think how much richer this country would be if we just take this simple position that only fight defensive war and don't go to war unless the people see to it that it's declared and the Congress declares the war, not allow the presidents to go to war on their own. This was an important issue for the founders, and this is why they put it into the Constitution that the executive branch could not go to war without a declaration. They've figured this would be important, but you know, not